I think there should be a rule that more and more people, when they feel the courts are not delivering justice, should speak loudly about it. The problem is the media as well begins to have this unquestioning attitude towards the courts. We follow what the courts say. The verdict of the court is to be followed by all. But there is nothing to say that we need to agree with the verdicts of the courts. The courts in this country are meant to deliver justice. But what the court in Sealdah, and openly I would say, what the court, the additional district and sessions judge in the Sealdah court has done, who has delivered the most ridiculous verdict in the case of Abhaya, the RG Kaur rape and murder case, is not the delivery of justice, but the denial of justice. It is the court which is therefore against justice for Abhaya. And I have no qualms in saying that I am shocked and horrified at the logic of the court which says that the rape and murder of Abhaya in the RG Kaur Medical College, which the whole country was outraged with, that it's not a rarest of the rare case. In saying so, the Honorable Judge, with the greatest of respect to him, has failed to understand the gravity of the offense and the sentiments of the people of this country. The Honorable Judge in this case, with the greatest of respect to him, is creating a set of precedent which must be challenged and which must be defeated. Ladies and gentlemen, if what happened to Abhaya is not rarest to rare, then what is? What is? And I hope today that the conscience of all the appellate courts of the country is also shaken with the sheer insensitivity of the Sealdah court. I hope the honorable judges of the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice of India and the honorable judges of the High Court in Kolkata and everywhere across the country are watching at the anger across the country when the judge says in Sealdah that what happened to Abhaya is not the rarest of the rare. So what are we expected to do, I say? Are we expected to bow our head down and say, my lords, what you say is above question? I would say with the greatest of respect, it is not. I would say, my lord who delivered this judgment, you have failed to understand that you are normalizing rape and murder by using the words and the logic which you do. Abhaya's case, my lords, was the rarest of the rare. It is not just the rarest of the rare, it was exceptionally gruesome. I don't know what Judge Anirban Das, the additional district and sessions judge of the Sealdah court, who said this is not the rarest of the rare case and hence there will be no death penalty, only life imprisonment. I want to know specifically what the honorable judge considers the rarest of the rare, for it is his logic versus mine. There was bleeding from both her eyes, as glass shards from her shattered spectacles were found inside her eyes. She was bleeding from her private parts. She had injuries on her belly, leg, neck, left leg, right hand, ring finger and mouth. Her legs were found 90 degrees apart. She had no clothes on. I appeal to the Honorable Supreme Court Chief Justice to intervene and say that many things are taken up suo motu. Perhaps the Honorable Chief Justice of Supreme Court can consider going suo motu into the case, because every minute that passes, the faith of the people of this country is shaken. For if this is not rare or the rest of the rare, then we, the people of India, want to know what is in the eyes of the Honorable Court. Very often the courts say to us in the media, know your limits. Don't question things under investigation. Though I always make the point as a media person that had it not been for the activism of sections of the media, many cases would not have even come up before the courts. Maybe the courts are not aware that there was complete reluctance of the West Bengal government to call it a rape and murder. There was a complete blackout in the filing of an FIR. If that is not rarest of the rare, then I do not know, my lordships, what is. The state-backed destruction of the crime scene, where the principal Sandeep Ghosh himself signed a letter the next day of the crime for renovation work because he wanted the whole place covered up. Now, if that is not rarest of the rare, then what is? What is? If the attempts to portray a gruesome rape and murder as a suicide is not rarest of the rare, then what is? The rushed post-mortem of Abhaya against the established rules is the rarest of the rare. The systematic destruction of crucial documents is the rarest of the rare. The hasty cremation, even before the FIR is lodged, is the rarest of the rare. The negligence in securing the crime scene is the rarest of the rare. Ladies and gentlemen, the deliberate alteration before the CBI comes in is the rarest of the rare. But the problem is there is something else at play here. Either the Honorable Court in Sealdah does not know the facts of the case in which they should get themselves educated before passing a judgment, and I am not being disrespectful of the courts, I'm just making an observation as a free citizen of the country, that someone must apprise the courts about what the case is about. And then let there be not just the application of the law, but also the application of reason, also the application of empathy, also the application of concern, also the application of an ounce of humanity by the courts. And if all of these applications don't lead to the delivery of justice, then let it be known to the courts of the country that we respect the courts. We respect the courts greatly. But silence when an open case of injustice is happening before you is unacceptable and will remain unacceptable in this country. And therefore I respect, with the greatest of respect, I would say to all the honorable judges, including some retired judges who give a lot of interviews these days on their personal habits, their lifestyles, their sports, their life experiences, etc., etc., etc. It's all right. Judges doing a lot of interviews is all right nowadays. Retired judges doing a lot of interviews is all right nowadays. But we are told never question the judges. I would only appeal to all those judges, including one specific retired judge or chief justice, to please speak up about what happened in the case of Abhaya, and to also deliver lectures and speeches and interviews and comments and editorial comments on whether what happened in the Sealdah court today was fair in the interest of justice in this country. For silence, in many cases, ladies and gentlemen, is often idiomatically termed as complicity. And therefore, Republic will not be silent. It's the courts versus justice for Abhaya in this case. Justice must win. Those denying justice must be challenged.